Hey there, I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I'm really excited to be here with you today. Okay, today is day 24 of my postpartum journey. It's 24 of 60. And let me just give you a quick little recap. So my goal is to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight, which is 120 pounds. When I went into the hospital the day I delivered, or not the day I delivered, but the day I went in, I weighed 152. Right now, I got on the scale this morning and I weighed 136. So if you were following around yesterday, I have actually gained a pound. Now, I'm not freaking out. It's not a big deal. You know, there's reasons for pound here, pound there, water. Maybe I didn't have a bowel movement. I don't remember. Bill and I had a date night last night, so it could have just been a factor thing. So that's just my quick recap on that. Back to my goals. I really want to get back to exercise. Exercise is something that is really important to me. I've exercised every day since I was 16, I believe, once I got a driver's license. So I miss it, you know, being on this postpartum, I'm not really allowed to exercise. So today, Bill and I went for a walk. It was a very slow walk. We decided to walk with baby to breakfast, and then we had breakfast, and then we walked back. So it was like 20 minutes each way. Again, very, very slow. And then I went and attempted to do some arm exercises. So one of the things that is important, you know, like you want to keep your arms toned. That's really a challenge area for me. And I've noticed since I haven't been doing bar or anything that I feel like my arms have gotten a little flabby. So I researched and Googled a bar just on YouTube, and I got 3-pound weights, and I started it, and I got like a couple of minutes in, and I could feel some pain, like some cramping and some pain. So I decided to stop, not in my arms, but in my womb, my uterus. I could feel some cramping, so I decided to stop. I put the weights down and just kind of did some arm exercises, like, you know, whatever I was following. So that's just kind of an update on where I am in my progress today. If this is something that's interesting to you, go on ahead and subscribe. I'm going on the process every single day. So today we're going to talk about breastfeeding. Is it a myth? Is it a fact? Does breastfeeding help you lose weight? I felt like that was a really important thing. So as someone who is exclusively breastfeeding my son Clinton, I thought, gosh, I should look into this. What does this whole thing mean? Now, here's where I think that well, here's the thing. It's said that breastfeeding, you burn up to 500 calories a day, 500 calories extra. So that's awesome. That's super awesome. Now I want to clarify, it says up to 500. So that doesn't mean that every woman and every breastfeeding woman is burning 500 calories, right? It means depending on how often you breastfeed, I'm sure it depends on your size, I'm sure it depends on the quantity that you put out. I really don't know that behind it, it's not really discussed. And it's not saying like if you breastfeed for 20 minutes, how many calories do you burn? It's not like if you're on the treadmill for 20 minutes, how many on average do you burn? That's not how, I can't find that research. So I just want you to know if you are breastfeeding and you're banking on this 500 calories, just know it's up to 500 calories is what we burn, which is awesome. It's like 500 free calories. Here's the thing where I feel like it's a myth, right? So we think we're burning 500 calories. Well, what happens is when we're breastfeeding is we create this hormone. This hormone is released, the prolactin. Now, prolactin is really important for us to produce breast milk. Awesome. We're doing what we should. We should produce breast milk for our baby. Well, prolactin also makes us hungry as moms. So we're pumping out this hormone and it's making us hungry. Duh, right? So we're going to eat more. So you're eating more while you're breastfeeding and you're burning up to 500 calories. So here's where I think this is kind of a fiction, right? So if we're not paying attention necessarily to how much we're eating, I'm not saying count calories, I'm not saying you should like go crazy on it, but I'm just saying if we're not paying attention and we're assuming like, oh, I can eat whatever I want, or I'm burning these extra 500 calories, or like, yeah, let's go for it. You may not be actually burning as much as you're putting in. Still at the end of the day, whether it's pregnancy weight loss or normal weight loss or whatever, it's calories in versus calories out, right? It's less calories in and more calories out. So even though you are burning these extra calories, I just invite you to look at exactly what you're burning, right? There's also, I'm trying to think. So here's where it is a fact that I think is really, really cool. So here's where I think that this is breastfeeding actually does help. So from what I've researched according to WebMD is they say that what happens is when you eat or when you breastfeed, your uterus contracts. So it contracts, so it goes smaller. So your uterus went, you know, from whatever normal size it is to your size of your womb. So the size of the baby was in there, right? So it continues to contract and get smaller and get smaller. So every time you breastfeed, it crunches down. So it helps flatten your tummy. So that's super awesome, right? That is a fact. That is proven. So women who breastfeed, it helps put your uterus back in place. It takes about 6 weeks to get back there, maybe a little bit longer, but that is super awesome, right? That's super cool. Now, here was a study that was done, and I have it linked for you. I can't remember off the top of my head who did the study, and I should. Really sorry about that. I'll have it linked for you in the description. But they did a study. They had breastfeeding women, and they had non-breastfeeding women. They had 81 non-breastfeeding and 87 breastfeeding women. They tracked them over the first 6 months of postpartum. So yeah, they're 6 months postpartum. They found that it wasn't necessarily that breastfeeding women lost more weight. Both lost weight, both lost fat, both lost inches. Here's the catch, is that non-breastfeeding women actually lost more weight all over their body and actually lost a little bit more. Now, breastfeeding women still lost weight, but they actually didn't lose weight in their arms. And in fact, they actually gained fat in their arms. And it's really interesting. I was catching myself today in the mirror and I was like, oh, actually, I think that my arms are a little bit bigger. Now, is it from breastfeeding? Is it because I haven't been working them out? I don't know. So anyways, I find that really, really interesting. This is something to think about. There was something else I really wanted to tell you, and I can't remember what it is. Oh, this is really important. Well, this is how it works. The dropping the weight. I researched this, which was actually really cool. So they say that when you deliver the baby, you lose about 10 to 12 pounds. So it's the baby plus the placenta plus the amniotic fluid. That's about 10 to 12 pounds. Then when you go home in the first couple weeks or so, you lose about 5 pounds right away, right? So that's just water weight, you lose about 5 pounds. Then it's saying that you lose on average 2 pounds per month for the following 6 months. That's about 12 pounds in 6 months. So add that all up, that's about 29 pounds. So some of us have gained far more, some of us have gained less, but on average, they're saying it'll take about 6 months to lose 29 pounds. Take that information, run with it, decide what you want. I know I want to go back to my original weight in 60 days. I realize that is a huge challenge. That's a huge journey, but that's something that I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to be unhealthy about it. I'm definitely an eater, and I have exercised every day, pretty much every day of my life. So I feel like my body wants to go back. All right. That is my information on breastfeeding. Take the information, do what you want with it. Again, I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of saying, what am I putting in my body and what is going out? We shouldn't bank on this extra, miraculous 500 calories. Again, there's no magic pill, no magic solution. It is calories in, calories out. I invite you to look at what you're eating. If you're like, wow, I feel like I'm eating all this, or just going. There's 3 questions I ask myself when I go to eat something that's not a meal. If I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm famished, it's this, I need a snack. I look at it and go, am I hungry? Am I really hungry right now? Yes or no? Or am I eating because I'm bored? Because it's oh, I've just been sitting here all day. It'd be great if I could eat something or do something different. Or am I eating it because I think I can get away with it? It's oh, well, I'm breastfeeding. I can totally get away with it. Right? So I ask myself those 3 questions, and if my answer is no, I really am hungry, then yeah, I go for it. If my answer is I'm bored, or I think I can get away with it, then I go drink some water, see if that's what's going on, maybe get up, move around, and then see if I am still hungry. Oh, maybe I really was hungry. So those are 3 things I do. Those are great tips, whether you're breastfeeding or not, but just look at what doing. Okay, follow me. Tomorrow's day 25. Subscribe. Of course, if you want to follow along, if you have questions, leave comments below. I want to hear exactly what's going on. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe I'm being overly aggressive with trying to get back to 120 pounds in 60 days. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And of course, you can go to alexandraharbushka.com for more information and see what's going on in the lifestyle blog. All right.